Wow, a new rank 8 that selects a zone on your opponent's field? Let's take a look. Hey guys, it's Yishan here with another video. Today's video is actually a card review video for a card that is coming out in Blazing Vortex. The name of this card is Sprigguns Ship Exblower, and it is a rank 8 monster. Now, as you know, a Gren Maju OTK deck tends to run a rank 8 toolbox in its extra deck, and so therefore, any rank 8 monster that comes out is worthy of a review. So, let's first take a look at the card, and then I will tell you guys my opinion on the card. Sprigguns Ship Exblower is a rank 8 Fire Machine Xyz effect monster. It has 1600 attack and 2500 defense. Its materials are 2 or more level 8 monsters, and you can only use its first and second effects once per turn each. Its first effect is as follows. Choose one monster zone or spell and trap zone on your opponent's field. Detach any number of materials from this card, and if you do, destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of materials you detached in that chosen zone or monster zone and or spell and trap zones to the top, bottom, or adjacent to that zone. Its second effect is during your opponent's main phase or battle phase. Quick effect, you can banish this card until the end phase. Now, what's interesting about the first effect, because let's talk about the first effect because that's the most interesting, is it basically you select a zone and then you destroy cards, 1 card or 2 or 3, depending on how many materials you have on this card, in a little Tetris block around that zone. So there's like a little 3x1 Tetris block thingy. That's basically how you can envision the range of this card, the range of its destruction, if you will. Now, how I'm going to review this card is actually compare it to a card that a lot of Gren Maju decks are already running. Something that has a similar sort of effect. And that similar card is actually a card that people are very familiar with, Dingirsu. Dingirsu and Sprigguns Ship Exblower serve a similar purpose. They're here to get rid of your opponent's cards, and they have non-targeting removal. And remember, selecting a zone does not count as targeting anything. It is simply just selecting a zone. Now, Sprigguns Ship Exblower and Dingirsu do have a few differences when it comes to how the removal works. Sprigguns does destroy the card, which is worse than Dingirsu because Dingirsu is actually able to send the card. However, Sprigguns Ship Exblower has the potential to destroy 2 cards, whereas Dingirsu only sends 1. On the other hand, Dingirsu sends 1 as a much more powerful send, but it also has built-in protection effect with its materials, which can provide you, a player, a lot of value. So the question is, which one is better? Well, my gut instinct tells me Dingirsu is better, and here's why. The first reason is that Dingirsu has more attack points, which can matter. You have to remember that when Blazing Vortex comes out, Phantom Rage will already be out, and a card called Zeus Negligea, I've done a video on this already, I'll link it up here and in the description below, is a rank 12 Xyz monster that can stack on top of a Xyz monster you already control and detach 2 materials from itself to actually wipe your opponent's entire field. However, you are actually required to have done battle with an Xyz monster before summoning a Zeus Negligea in that way. My conclusion is that Dingirsu has higher attack, therefore is more likely to be able to do battle in a battle phase, and it has a protection effect, so even if your opponent has a huge beater that you can't get over, you can actually detach and still detach a material from Dingirsu and still have considered to done battle with an XYZ monster. Sprigguns can destroy 2 cards. It also has a second effect which gives it some utility. Now, it can basically, during your opponent's main or battle phase, banish this card until the end phase. The unfortunate part about that is it being a Xyz monster, that means it would lose its materials. Therefore, if you decide to keep this card around, for example, if you've made this card in main phase 2, by the time you get it back, it won't have any Xyz materials to do another pop. So at this point, you're just sort of having a floating 1600 beater. The question to me is that worth it? And my answer to you is that, well, maybe. I'd like the fact that it can pop 2 cards. Being able to pop 2 cards is definitely better than sending 1 card. However, the 2 cards that you want to pop have to be in that little Tetris block shaped zone. So in some ways it's interesting. Yet, I still think Dingirsu is probably a slightly better card. I looked at the other Sprigguns support and I didn't see anything immediately jumped out to me that could be slotted in a Gren Maju OTK deck as of this moment, and so Dingirsu still seems to be a little bit better generically. However, I would not count this card out because it is slightly different than Dingirsu and can serve a different purpose. So if you do have some space in your extra deck, I would still recommend trying out this card. Also, if Konami happens to announce more Sprigguns support, then all bets could be off. This card could be really, really good depending on the level 8 support they release and if that can integrate with the current Gren Maju OTK builds. Well guys, that's all I have for you today. In summary, Sprigguns seems a little bit worse than Dingirsu. However, it could have some utility and could make it worth playing, especially if Konami releases some new Sprigguns support cards. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I wish to see you guys in the next one.